DILR. So I feel proud to be the first one, I think, in the country to discuss this caselet with each one of you. So guys, so before we start, please everyone mark your presence and do let me know the number of attempts of each one of you, specifically who were in slot 3. Right, so in this session, we will make DILR easy for each one of you. So please be quick and mark your presence. Okay, so right, let's start with the discussion. So the most important part, so those who still maybe are not aware of, that for CAT 2020 provisional answer key is released on the website. You just need to visit www.iimcat.ac.in and you need to log in with the username and password given to you to check your marks, right? So whatever answer options you marked are also given along with the correct answer key. So you can definitely calculate your raw score using the same, right? So we are here to help you. We have planned a lot of sessions which will help you in order to calculate your score, not only score, but this will also help you to boost your score in other exams, right? So as like ZAT is left, IFT, SNAP and MAT, so you can definitely perform better in rest of the exams. So there are 20 plus sessions planned for you, right? So this is going to be detailed solution of all 228 questions by CAT experts. So questions which can be challenged for all slots will also be discussed. All the sessions will be covered in 3 days. So today is the first day. We are having sessions tomorrow also lined up from very morning till evening, right? And day after tomorrow as well. So overall prediction of score and percentile is also a very key area, right? So playlist of all the sessions is in the description list. So guys, please check it out. I want each one of you to check out, right? So that you can attend all these sessions, right? So today is day 1. So we are done with slot 1 quant analysis, slot 1 DILR analysis. Right now we are into slot 3 DILR analysis, right? So then it will be followed by slot 2 DILR. So tomorrow we have slot 2 quant analysis, then slot 1 and slot 2 VARC. Then on 10th it will be slot 3 VARC followed by quant. And questions to be challenged in all slots will be given. So I request each one of you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, right? Download the GradeUp app from the Play Store and join the Telegram group so that you are always up to date. We all are in sync, right? We can transfer all the information quickly. So if you are not, you have not joined Telegram, please download the Telegram app as well. It is just like WhatsApp. All right, so instead of using WhatsApp, we use Telegram, which is much more professional. And the best part of Telegram is you can always see all the chats in the group, right? All the communications in the group, you can always see, right? So this is the first set, which is based on Venn diagram, right? So I hope you all must have read it, but still I will suggest to each one of you to go through this piece of information again. Each one of you to go through so that we can solve it quite easily, right? So let's do it. Here it says a survey of 600 schools in India was conducted to gather information about their online teaching learning processes, which is called OTLP. The following four facilities were studied: F1, F2, F3, F4. So we are not required, but they mean. So just focus on these four facilities. The following observations were summarized from the survey. 80 schools did not have any of the four facilities, which means the schools who has at least one of these facilities is 600 minus 80, right? So basically we need to fix this entire information on a Venn diagram. So I made a Venn diagram for us. So all the values in the different regions must add up to now 600 minus 80, which is equivalent to 520. So it is going to be the summation of all the values. As it is given to me that there are 80 schools who had none of the facilities among F1, F2, F3 and F4, right? Then in statement 2 he says 40 schools had all four facilities. So this is the box which represents all schools. So this value given to me equals 40, right? Then he says the number of schools with only F1, only F2, only F3, only F4 facility was 25, 30, 26 and 20 respectively. So we just need to follow the required order: 25, 30, 26 and last one is 20. So all these areas represent only F1, only F2, only F3 and only F4. In third he says, not third, fourth he says the number of schools with exactly 3 of the facilities was the same irrespective of which were considered, right? So the number of schools with exactly 3 of the facilities. So now which area represent exactly 3? So these are the values which represent exactly 3. So all these values in terms of number was the same. So let's assume the value to be A, right? Because the number is not given, let's keep it A. In 50 says 313 schools had F2 facility. Now this information is given to me. Sum of all these values will be 313. Further he says 26 schools had only F2 and F3, but neither F1 nor F4. So only F2 and F3 means neither F1 nor F4, but they have specified, it's fine, right? So 26 schools had only F2 and F3. Now this is F2, this is F3. This area represents only F2 and F3. So this is equivalent to 26. Statement number 7 says among the schools having F4, 24 had only F3. So let's fix this first. So this represents F4 had only F3. So this is the area we are talking about, right? So this value is 24. And he says 45 had only F2. Now this is F4 and this is F2. This area represents only F4 and F2. So this given to me is 45. Then he says 162 schools had both F1 and F2. So this is F1 and F2. Intersection of these two is 162. So these four regions, so 1, 2, 3 and 4, they represents F1 and F2, right? In 90 says the number of schools having F1 was same as the number of schools having F4. So this is the total F1, right? And this is the total F4. Given to me is that these two are equal. So let's assume this value to be B and this value to be C. So let's use this piece of information first. So 25 plus B plus A, 40 plus C. So all these values will add up to 65 plus 3A plus B plus C. So this is equivalent to total of F4. So when we add F4, in this case we get 20 plus 24 adds up to 44, right? So 44 plus 85. 44 plus 85 adds up to 129. So please keep that in mind, right? So plus it is 3 times A and 1 C. So 3A get cancelled out, C get cancelled out, straightways it gives me the value of B. Right, so we missed one value. So this value is already missed. So let's keep this value as D. Right, so it is plus D also here. So it gives me B plus D is equivalent to 129 minus 65, which is equivalent to 64. Also, it is given to me sum of these values is 162. So 2A plus D must be equivalent to 162 minus 40, which is remaining 82. Then we are given that sum of these values is 313. So let's add these now. So 45 plus 40 is 85. So 85 plus 26 plus 30 adds up to 56. Plus here we have D once and A is there 3 times. So which is 3A plus D. It equals 313. Right? So it gives me the value of 3A plus D, which equals 313 minus sum of these two. And these two add up to 141. So 3 minus 1 is 2, 11 minus 4 is 7, and 2 minus 1 is 1, so comes out to be 172. Now it's pretty clear that difference of these two will give me the value of A. So on subtracting these two, it comes out to be A equals 2 minus 2 is 0, and 17 minus 8 comes out to be 90. Right, so guys, please check it out. I hope it is clear. So A comes out to be 90. So I think did some calculation which is wrong. Let's recheck it. So F2 is 313. So 313 minus 162 comes out to be 3 minus 2 is 1, and 31 minus 16 is 15. So out of 151, this value will be subtracted to get the value of A. So 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, it is 101. So A comes out to be 40. Right, so where it went wrong, let me check. So 40, 45 is 85 plus 30 plus 26, 56. Plus D plus 3A is 313. So ये तो ठीक ही था. So 3 minus 1 5 11 5 13 14. So this comes out to be 172. Chalo, let's correct it. I think we did something wrong here. So this we wrote out of 2A plus D is not 82. 162 minus 40 is 122. So I wrote it wrong. Right. So still there is a gap. Just wait for a minute, guys. कहाँ पे गड़बड़ किया है? So I hope we wrote the right values. 162 schools had both F1 and F2. 313 schools had F2. So this correction, let's do it now. A comes out to be 50. Now it's fine. Right, so the value of A comes out to be 50. Right. Okay. Now further, once A is there, we can find the value of D also. So D comes out to be 122 minus 100, which is 22. So once D is there, we will also get the value of B. B comes out to be 64 minus 22, which comes out to be 42. So once B is there, A is there, every value is there, we can find the value of C also now, right? Now sum of all these values is known to me is equivalent to 520. So by adding all the values, we just need to equate it to 520. As we already know, sum of all these values in F2 is 313. It will make our calculation a bit easier. So this 313 plus 25, 42, 50. So these three values add up to 40 plus 20 is 67 plus 50 comes out to be 117 plus sum of these three comes out to be 20, 20, 40, 60, 70 plus C should be equivalent to 520. So C comes out to be 520 minus sum of these three. So 7 plus 3 is 10, 1 carried ahead. 7, 8, 9, 10, 1 carried ahead. 3, 4, 5. So this value comes out to be 20. So based on this, we have to answer all the questions now. Right, Harish. So let's have a look on question number 1. So what was the total number of schools having exactly 3 of the 4 facilities? So now they are the schools which are having exactly 3 of the 4 facilities. So these 4 values 50, 50 added 4 times adds up to 200. So answer comes out to be 4. In second it says what was the number of schools having facilities F2 and F4? Now this total area is represented by F2 and this is F4. So combination of these 4 represents F2 and F4. So 50 plus 50 is 100, 40 plus 45 is 45. So the sum comes out to be 185. So the correct answer option is 3. In third it says what was the number of schools having only facilities F1 and F3? So only F1 and F3. So this is F1, this is F3, right? So this area represents only F1 and F3. So the answer comes out to be 42. In question number 4, he says, what was the number of schools having only facilities F1 and F4? So only F1 and F4 is represented by this box. So the value comes out to be 20. So they were the questions of this particular set which were pretty easy to do. And Venn diagram of no invalid questions. In DILR, no invalid questions. Right? So all questions are good to go. Okay. So now this is another very interesting set. Very easy caselet. 6 patients in a hospital must undergo a blood test for a disease. It is known that exactly one of them has the disease. The hospital has only 8 testing kits and has decided to pool blood samples of patients into 8 vials for the test. The patients are numbered 1 through 16 and the vials are labeled A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H. The following table shows the vials into which each patient's blood sample is distributed. So now we just need to make our own table here for understanding what all patients' blood sample is there in each and every vial. The table given to me does not provide information of what all blood samples are there directly. So A has blood sample of patient number 9 to 16. So to make your calculation easy, without any hesitation, write down all the values. So many students do not write all the numbers, keeping in mind that maybe it will be very lengthy. But to solve this question within 2 minutes, this is very much required. So sample B, while B has samples of all the patients from 1 through 8. So C is there in 5 to 8 and 13 to 16. So I am writing all the numbers here. While D had samples of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 9, 10, 11, 12. E is there in 3, 4 then 7, 8, then 11, 12, and then 15, 16. F is there in 1, 2, then 5, 6, then 9, 10, and then 13, 14. G is there in all even samples, even patients, and H is there for all odd numbered patients. So first of all, this is the detail required, right? Then answering questions based on this becomes very easy. Let's have a look. In question number 1, he says, suppose bile C is positive and vials AEH test negative. Let's have a look. C, AEH. So if C test positive, these are the values we should be focused on. 5, 6, 7, 8, 13, 14, 15, 16. A, E, and H test negative. If A is negative, it means none of these patients is positive. So the common values of these two is 13, 14, 15, 16. These four values goes out. If E test negative, it means none of these patients are affected. Right? Let's figure out rest of the common values, which are 7 and 8. It goes out. If H test negative, H contains all odd values, so 5 goes out. The only remaining number patient is 6. Right? So the answer for question number 1 will be patient number 6 is affected. So guys, I hope it is clear to each and every student. So a very easy caselet, provided you just write down these values, right, for comparison, it becomes very easy. Let's have a look on question number 2. Suppose vial A test positive, D and G test negative. Which of the vials should be next test to identify the patient with disease? A is positive, D and G negative. Right? So if A tests positive, in question number 2, write down all the values of A. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. If D tests negative, D has samples of 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12. None of them is affected. So just remove these four values, 9, 10, 11, 12. If G is negative, none of these patient is affected. All even numbered values goes out, 14 and 16. Leftover is 13 and 15. Now he says what should be tested in order to be sure of that we get the affected patient. Let's have a look on options. Options are B, H, C, E. So options are B, H, C, E. If you will check B, so B does not have sample of either 13 or 15. So we will not be in a position to identify the patient. If we check H, H has 1, 2, so on up to all odd values, 13 and 15 both are there in H. So it will not help me in identifying the patient. If we check sample C, C contains again both the numbers 13 and 15, will not help me in identifying the patient. If you check E, it contains 15. Now if E is negative, right, it means the affected patient is definitely number 13. So the answer in this case comes out to be E. All right. So if you write down all these values, question becomes very easy. Here he says, which of the following combinations of test result is not possible? Again, the very similar thing is to be checked. Right. So first option is A and E positive, C and D negative. Let's have a look. So it was AE positive, CD negative. So AE are positive and CD are negative. If A and D are positive, it means the affected patient is going to be among these two groups. So the common values of these two are 9, 10, 11, and 12. It means the affected patient is definitely among 9, 10, 11, 12. If C is negative, it says 5, 6, 7, 8, 13, 14, 15, 16, none of them are affected. Right? Then D says 1, 2, sorry, we need to take A and D. I took A and D, my mistake. So let's rectify the mistake. So the common among A and E is, so 9, 10, 11, 12 goes out, right? So 13, 14, 15, 16. So 15 and 16 are the common values among A and D. So one among these two should be affected. So if C and D are chosen as negative, C has all the patients, right, including 15 and 16 both. So one among 15 and 16 is definitely positive. So C and D cannot be negative, right? Which means this is the option which is definitely wrong, right? So whilst A and E test positive, C and D test negative, not possible, because the common among these two was 15, 16, which is there in C as well. So C can't be negative, right? So here he says one of the lab assistants accidentally mixed two patients' blood samples before they were distributed to the vials. Which of the following correctly represents the set of all possible number of positive test results out of the 8 vials? Right, so the numbering are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if we are going to mix any two blood samples here, so let's say we have mixed 1 and 2. Right, so we do not know like which two are mixed. So let's assume we have mixed 1 and 2. If 1 and 2 are mixed and they are distributed, right, so wherever B is, all those will be affected. Right, so if you are putting these two samples which are mixed and all these, so all B's are affected. Right, so 1 and 2 contains D, so all D's are affected. So all these four, and along with this, all these four will be affected. Because it contains F also, so F, wherever F is, right, so that is also affected. So it is already there. So these two are also affected, right? So wherever we get H, so that is also affected, right? So this H is also affected. So wherever we see G, that is also affected. So he says, but all vials will be affected, right? So can I say, guys, all vials will be affected? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's why the answer straightways comes out to be 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So another very easy question, provided we know the technique of solving it. But this was one of the difficult caselet as per students. Right, so as per students, this was the most difficult caselet, high low wala. Right, but again, right, yes Harish, yes, but again the caselet, this caselet again is very easy, right? The only thing we need to understand here was how it should be solved in the least possible time frame or in the given time frame, we can say. But I think pressure, this particular caselet built a lot of pressure on students just because of how it should be done. So we all know the instructions given to me here. So I will write down all the instructions on next slide. So given to me is, if all four of them will bid high, then in that case, 1 point will be subtracted out of all. So whosoever pressed H, 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 it will be -1 for all four of them. So if it is 3 times high, 3 of them bid high and 1 of them bid low, the one bidding high will get 1 point, the one bidding low will get -3. If 2 bid high and 2 bid low, in that case the one bidding high will get +2, the ones bidding low will get -2. If it is 1 time H and 3 L's, in that case the one bidding high will get 3 points and the ones bidding low will get -1. If all of them bid low, then in that case everyone will get +1 points. So if we observe, the points that anyone can get among all these is among -3, -2, -1, 1, 2, and 3. Then in this caselet, we are given 4 persons A, B, C, and D who will bid out of any these values. Then we are given their respective points after 3 rounds and after 6 rounds. So we need to figure out what could have happened in each and every round. Who bid high, 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 or is it high, low, 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 or it is all lows, or any combination. So the caselet basically given to me should be solved in 2 parts. So a very beautifully designed caselet by Cat this year. So this is going to be round 1, round 2, round 3, and this is end of round 3. This is round 4, round 5, round 6, and then here is end of round 6. So in the storyline, we are given at the end of round 3, their respective points were 6, -2, -2, and 2. At the end of round 6, their respective points were 7, -1, -5, and -1. All right. Along with that, we are given, so let's read the instructions. They are important. So point 1 and 2 are done. In third, he says Deepak's score in third round was less than his score in the first, but was more than his score in the second round. So let's assume certain values here for Deepak. I am taking it to be X, Y, and Z. Right? So given to me is Deepak's score in the third round was less than in the first round. So Y is less than X, but it is more than Z. Right? Then he says in fourth point, in exactly 2 out of the 6 rounds, Arun was the only player who bid high. Right? So out of 6 rounds, Arun was the only player who bid high, which means there are going to be 2 rounds wherein the status will be H, L, L, and L. So this must happen for exactly 2 rounds. Right? So this is a very, very critical piece of information. Now, in order to solve it, let's keep one thing in mind. So X is here, Z is here, Y is here. Sum of these 3 values should be 2. So I'm taking up here now point number 1. For D, sum of X plus Y plus Z should be 2. Now we need to check what all combinations can give me a sum of 2. If I take X as 3, so we need to observe all the combinations of 3. If I take -3 with 3, 3 minus 3 is 0. So this must be plus 2. So this combination will end in 2. Right? So if I take, instead of -3, if I take -2, so 3 minus 2 is 1. And 1 plus 1 again ends up in 2. If I take 3 minus 1, that is 2. I cannot add 0. So 3 minus 2 is not possible. Right? So if I take, 3 minus 1 is not possible. So if I take 3 and 1, then third value must be -2. That is already considered. Right? So if I take any combination of 3, so that is considered. Now we need to consider the combinations of 2. If it is 2 in place of X, then if I take -3 along with it, so 2 minus 3 is -1. To make it 2, we need to add 3. So that case is again already considered. So if I take +2 and -2, third value should be +2. Then the sum comes out to be 2. If I take 2, then -1, third value should be +1, such that the sum comes out to be 2. So if I take 2 and 1, that already adds up to 3. So we can't make it 2 now. Right? So that case is already considered 3, 1, -2. So instead of taking 2, if I take only 1, If it is 1 here and I take minus 3 with it, so 1 minus 3 comes out to be minus 2. To make it 2, I need to add 4, which is not possible. If along with 1, I take minus 2 now. So 1 minus 2 is minus 1 plus 3 is again already considered. If we take 1 minus 1, we need to take 2. That case is already considered. So all the cases are considered for x, y, z. Now these values should be arranged in this order: x more than y more than z. So let's rearrange the values here. If it is 3 minus 3, 2, so x will be 3, y will be 2, and this must be the least value, which is minus 3. If it is 3 minus 2, 1, this will be 3, this will be 1, this will be minus 2. We cannot arrange 2 minus 2, 2 in the required order because two values are same, hence ruled out. In order to place 2 minus 1, 1, we can write it like this: 2, and this is 1, and this is minus 1. If we observe the value of x, it is going to be either 3 or 2, right? And we can see plus 3 or plus 2 can be achieved if and only if any of the two cases will happen. Which means this D, right, Deepak in round 1 must have bid high. Right, so the points can be either 3 or 2, that I cannot freeze. But one thing is for very sure, that this was high here. Likewise, if we move on to Arun, the sum of the three values of Arun should be 6. Now let's assume that for Arun, I am writing Arun here. Not here exactly, let me write here. For Arun, let's say the three values are ABC, which should add up to 6. The only combination that will add up to 6 is of 3, 2, and 1. Right? The only combination that will add up to 6 is of 3, 2, and 1. No other combination will add up to 6. Right? Which means if Arun is required 3 or 2, that can be achieved by only and only H and H. So this one can be achieved with H, or it can be achieved with low also. So we cannot freeze on this one right now. It can be an outcome of either high or low. So guys, tell me first of all, is this part clear? For Deepak and Arun, this part is clear, each one of you. So Arun must have marked either all three highs or two highs and one low. They are going to be the two possibilities, right? So we can check it with our answer options also now. Question number 1 says, what were the bids by Arun, Bankim, Charu and Deepak respectively in the first round? I know for very sure that Deepak has definitely bid high. So either of the two cases would have happened. Had it been low, 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 high, if this is the case, or if it is high, low, low, high, let's observe what will happen. If it is low, low, low and high, so this case will come into picture. All those who have marked high will get 3 points. All those who have marked low will get -1. So which means one of them is getting 3, which is definitely Deepak, right? And others are getting -1. But A cannot get -1. Arun will definitely get 3, 2 or 1. So it gives us a very clear-cut picture out of this option that fourth is not possible, third must be the answer, which means the output of round 1 was high, low and low. Right? So if this was the bidding high, low, low, high, HHLL will buy us +2 points here and -2 points in these two cases. So if Arun got 2 points here and Deepak got 2 points here, we need to check what all cases are possible. So Deepak can get +2 points in this case, right? Among these two cases, in this case. Now any of these two cases could have happened wherein +2 is there. So this has definitely not happened again. right? So if the value of x is 2, so here the value of x is 3, this case is also ruled out. We are left with only and only one case of Deepak, which is going to fix entire caselet now. Now the value of y comes out to be 1 and value of z comes out to be -1. So guys, please check it out. I hope this set is clear. Once we have reached here, solving rest of the caselet is very easy. So guys, please check it out. I hope it is clear. Please be quick with the response. Yes, Meena, slot 2 discussion is over. Okay, so let's move on. So now, once we have reached 2, -1 and 1, now we need to focus on what could have happened with these three values. How to get -1 here. So we can get -1 here when either all of them will mark high, 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 right? Or it is high, low, low, and low. So please keep in mind that we are given that in exactly 2 out of 6 rounds, Arun was the only one who have bet high. So we have to figure out either this is the possibility or this is the possibility. If all these are going to bet high, 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 and high, it means if all the values are -1, -1, -1, Arun cannot have -1 anywhere. Please keep that in mind. If this is the case, which would happen here, if all are HH, Arun cannot afford -1, which means this should not have happened. Here the case must be high, low, low, and low. The moment we are able to fix this particular case here, it gives me 3 points here, then -1 here, -1 here, and -1 here. Right? So these two values add up to 5. So this value must be 1 now, which is this case. So the sum of these three should be -2. So the third value must be 1 here. Sum of these three is -2. This value must be 1 here. Now, in which case everyone will get +1. This is the only case where everyone will get +1. So, which means in this case, everyone must have bet low, 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 and low. So, a very, very important piece of information, right, to start with was this particular case. And if you write values in just this pattern, it will ensure that entire caselet is done very easily. So once we are able to fix it, in order to fix the rest of the 3 rounds, we just need to focus on, now Arun is at 0.6, he is required to reach 7. So total gain in the 3 rounds will be of 1. Again for B, the total gain will be of 1. For C, the total gain, rather loss, is of 3. Right? For D, the total loss is of again 3. The way we calculated +2 or 6 here, now we need to calculate how to get 1 or how to get -3 by using these values. Right, so now these values which we did earlier are of no use. So I'm just going to erase it so that we get more place to write everything. So just give me a sec. So now side by side, guys, please tell me. I hope all the information of round 1, 2, and 3 is clear to each one of you. Okay, now let's move on to round number 4, 5, 6. So if we talk about either Arun or B, right, so gain in both of the cases required is 1. So let's observe how we can get a sum of 1. So if I keep one of the value to be 3, and let's start from leftmost end, if it is -3, third value required is +1, right? Likewise, if I take 3 along with -2, so the difference comes out to be 1, third should be 0, which is not possible. If I take 3 along with -1, the difference comes out to be 2, so we need another -1 to make it 1. So if I take 3 along with 1, right? So we need to take -3, that case is already considered. So plus wala sign is not required. Let's take this value to be +2. If this is 2 and this is -3, so 2 minus 3 is -1, right? So 2 minus 3 is -1. We are required another +2 to make it 1, right? Now, if I take 2 along with -2, this is 0. So we are required another +1 to make it 1. So if I take 2 minus 1, that is already 1, no other value is possible. If I take 2 and 1, again nothing is possible. Now we need to move on to 1. If I take 1 along with -3, that is already -2, right? So then we need to take another 3 to make it 1. So that case is already considered. The only case then left is +1, -1, and +1. This is how we can get a sum of 1 in the 3 rounds. Likewise, when we solve it for -3, for C and D, when we solve it for -3, so if I take one of the value to be 3, other to be -3, third value should be -3, so that overall it becomes -3. So if I take 3 minus 2, that is 1, third value should be -4. So no other combination of 3 is possible. So let's move on to 2. If we take 2 and -3, they add up to -1. So we are required -2 to make it -3. If I take 2 along with -2, so that is 0, we need -3, so that case is already counted. Right. So if I take along with 2 -1, so 2 minus 1 is 1, we need -4 to make it -3, so not possible. So right, so this is the only case for 2. If we move on to 1, right, so 1 minus 3 makes it -2, so we need another -1 here. If we take 1 minus 2, that makes it -1, we need another -2 here, right? So if I take 1 minus 1, then third value should be -3, so that is again possible, right? So after 1, if I move on to negative values, so if all 3 are negative, nothing is getting to be fixed. So they are the only 5 cases which will add up to -3 now. As it is given to me that there are exactly 2 cases in which HLL is possible. I do not know now in which round it will happen because nothing is fixed about these 3 rounds. But this is definitely bound to happen. So high, low, low, low is definitely going to reflect in one of the 3 rounds, right? So which means A will get +3 here. Then for B, C, D, it will be -1, -1, -1. Again, it will help me to figure out which case is possible for A. So +3 is there in only and only these 2 cases which are possible for A. Well, for B, we are required -1. So -1 is possible in this case, right? So 3 and -1 is not possible here. So it is neither for A nor for B. Again, this case is neither for A nor for B. So -1 is here. So this is possible for B, right? Likewise, if we move on to C and D, we are required -1 for both of them. So these 2 cases do not contain -1, so they are straightways ruled out. This contains -1, this does not contain -1, this contains -1. So with the help of this much of calculation, we are able to rule out what is going to happen now in rest of the combinations, right? So as we can clearly see that in 2 rounds, Arun is the only person who is going to bid high. That is taken care of now, right? So let's read instructions again. So here it is given to me in exactly out of the 6 rounds, Arun was the only player. That is taken care of. Deepak's score is also taken care of. Points of A, B, C, D are also taken care of in all the cases. All right. So these were the only informations for points. So there is nothing which is like we haven't taken care of. Each and everything is taken care of thoroughly. So in order to fix rest of the two games, 5 and 6, we need to figure out whether it is 3 minus 3 1 for A or 3 minus 1 minus 1. Right? So likewise for B, out of these two cases, what is going to happen? Right? So now in order to do this particular case, in order to fetch minus 1 minus 3 1 or minus 1 minus 3 1, right? So both the cases are same. So they are not two cases, effectively one case only. So definitely it is going to be minus 1, and in these two cases it is 1 or minus 3 in some order. So we can get plus 1 by either when all of them bid low, 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 right? Or when 3 of them bid high and 1 of them will bid low. So these are the two ways of getting plus 1, right? In order to get minus 3, this is the only way you can get minus 3. When 3 of them bid high and 1 of them bid low, right? So minus 3 can also be made possible when all the 3 values are minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. This was the only critical information that was left. Right? So if this case is going to happen for both of them, like 1 minus 3 minus 3 1, then it should be triple HL in both the cases, which means it should be plus 1 for other two, which is not going to happen, because plus 1 will take it to 3 plus 4 plus 1 5, but the only addition required is 1. So 2 must be subtracted for A here. So, overall increase must be of 1 and 2 must be subtracted out of this 3, which means this case is again not possible. Right? So the only combination left for C and D is minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. Only then they can get overall minus 3. Now how to get minus 1? There are two ways of getting minus 1. Either all of them will bid high, right? Or one of them bid high and 3 of them bid low. Right? And I already know that this case can happen only 2 times, and it has already happened 2 times. So this must be the case which should happen here, such that the reduction is of 1 in all the cases. Right? So if I take minus 1 in all the cases, it means everyone must have bid high like this. Right? Now this minus 1 and minus 1 add up to minus 2, but I am required a total of minus 1 here. Right? So these three values rather add up to minus 4, but I am required minus 1, which means there must be an addition of 3. Likewise, net increase required is 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. Right? So I need to decrease another 1 here. And 3 minus 1 is happening in only and only this case now. Right? And this must be low, this must be high, this must be low, and this must be low then. So this was the entire caselet which we have to solve. And now we can answer all the questions very easily. In how many rounds did Arun bid high? So let's have a look. So this is 1 round, 2 round, 3 round, and 4 rounds. In next question he says, in how many rounds did Bankim bid low? For B, low we need to observe. This is 1, 2, 3, and a total of 4 rounds. In next he says, in how many rounds did all 4 players make identical bids? So there were 2 rounds in which they made identical bids. So we can verify here. So all these are low, low, low and low. And here all the 4 are high, high, high and high. Here he says, in how many rounds did Deepak gain exactly 1 point? So Deepak gained exactly 1 point in this round only. In no other round, he gained exactly 1 point. So answer comes out to be 1. So in last, he says, in which of the following rounds was Arun definitely the one player to bid high? As we have already discussed, in fourth, fifth, sixth round, nothing is fixed. So that is out. So answer must be among 1, 2nd, and 3rd. So let's check it out. In which round he definitely bid high. So these are the values. Here it is high, and here again it is high, right? Because these values of D are fixed, right? Because the values of D are fixed, so the values of A are also fixed, right? In this case, answer comes out to be first or second, but they have chosen their answer to be only and only second, right? So it was definitely first or second. So please keep that in mind. Yes, yes, yes. It was definitely a very, very lengthy set, right? So not at all recommended for cat, but was not difficult. So the problem with cat is that the caselets are not difficult, but they are relatively lengthy, right? So guys, we are more or less done with the caselets for this session, right? So we will start with discussion of rest of the caselets in some time at around 8, right? So at 8 o'clock, we are going to discuss the rest of the caselets. So please keep the schedule in mind, right? So we will declare the timings for the sessions planned for tomorrow and day after. I request each and every student to be on Telegram. If you still haven't joined the Telegram group, please join it at the earliest. Yes, yes, yes. We are going to fill the objection form by going through each and everything thoroughly, right? Uh, Jashan, at 116, you are definitely getting 98 plus. I did this maths in the morning, right? I think it must be 98 plus. Okay, let me check. Let me check the last question. What was it? In which of the following rounds was Arun definitely? Okay, the question is Arun was the only player to bid high. ठीक है, then the answer is only second, right? So first there were 2 players who bid high. ठीक है, ठीक है, right? So वो solve करते करते ध्यान से निकल गया. So in round second only Arun was the only player to bid high. ठीक है जी, ठीक है. Yes, Rahul, you must fill each and every form. Fill Z, fill IFT. Don't miss anyone. All these are having good institutions allied, right? Aditya, just check it out. वो हमने ये ध्यान नहीं दिया. Last part. Arun was the only player to bid high. So in second round only, Arun is the only player to bid high. In round first, 2 players bid high. Arun and Deepak. Right. So I hope you would have enjoyed this particular session. Right. I will check it. I will check it, Aditya. If you are saying it, I will check it and will update each one of you. Right? I will check it again. Right? So let's keep it this much only because at 8 we have to start with the discussion of rest of the caselets also. Right? So please keep this timetable in mind and join the Telegram group for all discussions. So guys, these are the important MBA exams for rest of the institutions like SNAP, ZAT, IAFT. So ZAT and IFT forms still I think you guys can fill. So if you haven't done it, please do it at the earliest. And likewise TestNet, CMAT and Maharashtra CT also. So we are having a lot of time to perform really well in rest of the exams. So guys, we are running Mission MBA for SNAP, IFT, ZAT, TestNet, CMAT, Maharashtra CT and MAT effectively for all non-CAT exams. Right. So if you need any assistance, you can always register in this particular batch. For decision making and verbal of ZAT, we have launched a specific course for the same because decision making is a very critical part of your ZAT, right? And GK affair course is already going on, all right, which will help us a lot in our GD, VAT and PI now. Now those students who have done really well in CAT must focus on GD, VAT and PI. So guys, for CAT 2021, if any of you is CAT 2021 aspirant, so we are about to start another comprehensive course for CAT 2021. So you will prepare to get 99 plus percentile with toppers turned mentors. All faculty members, all mentors are 99.9 plus percentilers. Please keep that in mind. That we get calls from almost all IIMs every year. So expert guidance, exhaustive day-wise study plan, all topics will be covered through live classes and quizzes. And these live classes will happen only and only on GradeUp app. All right, so they are not free lectures. They all are paid lectures, which are only and only for those students who have enrolled for GradeUp Super course, right, which includes GD, VAT and PI preparation also. So all CAT 2021 students are requested to enroll for 18 months program only. It is a long program, so please enroll for 18 months program. These short-term programs are only and only for non-CAT 2020 aspirants, right? So those who are targeting non-CAT, they must go for 3 or 6 months program. All students who are planning their GD, VAT and PI preparation should enroll for 3 or 6 months program, right? So here is the team at GradeUp. All faculty members are 99.9 plus percentilers. 6 of us are 100 percentilers in their respective areas, right? So guys, I wish you very best. So we'll catch up with you in another half an hour. So thank you. Thanks a lot for your time. Right, Aditya. Right. Thank you. Thank you.